Alright, we're going to refurbish this headlight right here. They get faded out over the years. What's the first thing we need to do before we start working on it?
Tape it.
What's the first thing we got to do?
Tape it.
Tape it, that's right. We got to do that for what?
So you
Tape
will
the paint.
paint off the paint that's
So we'll burn the paint off the edges, alright? Good answer. Now what makes these headlights turn yellow like they do?
so just sitting there.
No, why? What makes them turn yellow? What are we doing to them?
Clear coat.
The clear coat gets old and turns yellow and you can't see through them. So most people buy headlights that are probably $300 and $400 a piece when they can probably fix these for less than $100 and probably be better than they were. What grid are we going to start with? 320. Then we go to what?
600.
600. Why do we keep getting finer and finer sandpaper?
So it's smooth.
Getting rid of the scratches out of it, make it smoother, so we can bring the light back to what it's supposed to look like. What safety equipment do we need to do this?
Safety glasses.
Safety glasses, there you go. There's not a lot of stuff being slung around, but just as a precaution, we always wear safety glasses out here in the shop for this kind of stuff. Alrighty. Now we're going to wet sand these with the DAs. These are the little miniature 3-inch DAs and a 2-inch. The purpose of wetting it makes it cut it a little quicker. Wipe it down between each time you sand it, you can see where you're at with it. When it dries, it still looks hazy, but you can see it starting to come up a little bit better. Now what holds that paper on that sander? Velcro. That's the way most of the shops have gone to now, because if you take a piece of paper off, you don't have to throw it away, you can reuse it. Put it back on there if you need to. A little more expensive on the front end, but saves them money down the road. Alright, we're going to what grit now? 600. Alright, can you already tell the difference? Some of them sand up a little easier than the rest of them do. Each time we change the grit and sandpaper, it makes it a little clearer each time. next? 1,000. And we'll probably sand this one by hand from here on out. This is 1,000 grit, like I say, we'll do hand sanding on it. 1,000, 1,000. Yeah, we need to carry it all the way at least 3,000. It's what you could sand paint with and buff paint, but you want to go up higher than that before you really start putting a buffer on it. In this case here, we're just going to re-clear these headlights because it'll last longer than buffing them. Do what? Tell you why what? Do what? Do what? Because the headlights, they don't shine as bright when that clear coat gets on top of them and it turns yellow. It's just like a shield. It just closes the light in. They can't see as good through them. So when you clean them up where you can shine through the headlight a little better, it makes it easier to see when you drive. No, you can't do the inside. Just do the outside. Because this part is glued to the actual headlight housing. And this is something you guys could do at your house with very little money. You can really do it all by hand without a sander and air compressor and buy an aerosol clear coat and redo headlights and make you a little money on the side doing them, you know. Do them right out in the yard. Not a whole lot to it. And you'd be amazed at the people that want to get it done once they see it. All right. Now we're going to go to 2,000. All right. Once you get to the finer grits, you can really tell a big difference. And they're still going to look a little hazy before we put the clear coat on them. What do we have to put on before we spray clear coat today? Bulldog. And what's Bulldog? No. Bulldog is an adhesion promoter because there's not a lot of scratches on this headlight to make the clear coat grip to. So you put the Bulldog on here, it's the adhesion promoter. It's transparent too, makes the clear coat stick to it. All right, now we're going 3,000. All right, see a big difference compared to the other one? What is this one?
4,000.
5,000. And this is the final step before we get ready to clear. What determines the grit of the sandpaper? What does the numbers like 80 grit, 180 grit? What determines that?
Isn't it the number per square inch?
The number of grit per square inch. That's why the more grit per square inch, the finer the sandpaper is. And they've actually come up with an 8,000 now, which I have not used yet. So now this headlight is ready to be clear coated. We'll take the old tape off that got wet. We'll blow the water off of it, get everything dried out. And then we'll spray some Bulldog and some clear coat on them, and they'll be good to go. But we do both headlights at the same time. And we can split up in teams, you know, do a couple headlights apiece and knock them out. See how the tape wants to stick when it gets wet? That's why you don't never want to leave a car out in the weather, especially humid as it is around here. The tape, it won't want to come off, and it makes for a miserable day. So you got to sit there and roll it off like that. Oh yeah, if it gets wet and then the sun bakes it on there, you can't get it off hardly. So that one's ready to clear coat. Tape it up and clear coat. Alright, good? Alright, good.